Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I'm Charla.
And I'm Christy, and today we are doing more frugal freezer meals. We did a video a couple of months ago, because I don't know if you've noticed, the groceries have skyrocketed in price. It's everything. It's the gas prices, it's the shipping costs, it's the availability, it's the global market. Everybody's finding this. So people said more. We need more.
Absolutely. And this time we're doing all different recipes than that video. So we'll put that video at the end of this video. We'll also link it right up there. And then you can have double the amount of, you can have more variety, essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
And still make super frugal meals. And taste is not one of the things that we have cut back on in these.
I don't know if you know this about Charla. I've told you before. She's a foodie. I'm not a foodie. I need to eat. It's nice if it tastes good, but you know, stuff has to taste good for her to eat it, or she would rather not eat.
That's true.
I don't understand that, but so you know that these are going to taste good. And this happened in the club or in the Facebook group this week, where somebody had commented about the beef stroganoff. It's not in this list, but it is we do have it in our club and we have it on the website. And she said, you know, I just looked at that and it looked so ugly.
It is an ugly one.
It's not really all that attractive. It's mushroom soup and sour cream and ground beef and some mushrooms. Nothing about it is particularly attractive. And she just said, but boy, I tried it and it is delicious.
I mean, how can you not like that one?
Right.
It's so good.
It's one of our favorites. You might see it in
and we
a top 10 coming up soon.
You might.
You might.
We've also had that comment about the chicken curry.
The chicken curry.
I didn't want to try it because it sounded so weird, but I was wrong.
Totally.
You know? So today we are making 5 different recipes, and most of these have meat. So I know that it can be easy to save money on your groceries if you go meatless. And we do have a lot of vegetarian or meatless Monday type of videos.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing that you can definitely check out on our channel. But most of these have meat, and we have made this so that it's less than $35 now, and that's for 24 servings. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive, right?
That's impressive. You can't eat out for that.
No, you can't eat out.
Even going to the dollar menu at McDonald's.
No.
To feed your family.
Yeah. So
5 meals for under $35. That's outrageous.
It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
This is
good job.
It's
and it's difficult. So I don't know where you live, what the prices are like. If you're American, you can do it for even cheaper. I know prices have gone up there too, but
yes, they have.
We're in Canada. We pay a little bit higher prices for some of our produce
and it depends
stuff.
what state you're in, because my goodness, if you're in Hawaii, the prices
or Alaska, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So it does depend where you are, and even across Canada, it really depends where you are as to
access to shipping,
what your grocery prices are.
Yeah.
So in our area, we were able to do this for under $35. We're going to explain to you how. We're going to go through step by step by step.
Yeah.
We also have a video up there that explains how to save money using freezer cooking, and all of our tips for saving even more money at the grocery store, and these little hacks and things that we do.
There's lots of reasons to do freezer meals, but one of the biggest ones is it does save you money. It saves you money just in the fact of how we do it. You hit the sales and you can we have 15% off in our area. We talk about it in the video. So
buy in bulk. You're never wasting your produce because it doesn't go bad in your fridge, because your good intentions don't get thrown in the garbage.
No, that's right, because they get incorporated into the freezer meals.
Yeah, so they get used right away, and you're not going through the drive-thru, and you're not doing convenience food, and all the things.
All the things.
But today we're going to walk through these meals, and we're going to start with beef hash.
Yum.
So I was able to find ground beef for $3.22 a pound, which for this, 2020, end of 2020,
kind of unheard of.
A really good deal.
Yeah.
So I obviously bought a lot of the ground beef, and actually we did a ground beef video.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I feel like I'm going to be doing this the whole time, but you can find all the ground beef video recipes that we made up there. And I think we made 11.
There was 11 meals.
Yeah.
With this super cheap ground beef. It was awesome.
If you can find a sale, that's one of the great things about freezer meals is that you can buy a lot of it.
And just bam, you're making ground beef meals or you're making chicken meals. And if you're a part of the club, you can look through our recipes and you can use the filter section that will say, ground beef. And all of our ground beef recipes will show up. So you can get those in your freezer. You don't have to worry about cooking for the next month. You might want to look for a chicken sale next. You might get a little sick of the ground beef, but it's a great way to reduce those costs.
We'll put a link down below to our Freezer Meals 101 Club. It does your grocery list, the recipes. It even does printable labels. So it's awesome. Check that out. And so we're going to get back to when we're chatty, we're sorry.
No, we're not sorry.
We get all around.
We're back to the beef hash.
Back to the beef hash. So you're going to take 1.5 pounds of browned ground beef, put it in a large resealable freezer bag, add half of a 1 kilogram bag of frozen hash browns.
So it's about 1 pound of frozen hash browns.
Okay. 1 onion finely chopped, 3 tablespoons of dry onion soup mix. We get ours as the MSG free one at Bulk Barn, and that's another way to save money, buying it in bulk rather than in the dry onion soup mix packets. Then you're gonna add a cup of beef broth and some pepper. You're gonna squish that all around, get all the air out of your freezer bag so that you don't get freezer burn. Seal it, lay it flat, and if you want, you can leave it like this, and that will cost you $7.62. Or you can take some shredded cheese, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, put it in a medium-sized bag and staple that above the seal of the large bag. And then on the day that you cook it, you can top it with the cheddar cheese. That will cost you $8.75 for this meal with the cheese. On the day that you cook it, you thaw it, and then you can cook it either in the oven or in your slow cooker.
So on Friday, I made my beef hash, and I went to go pick up my kids from school, and we were going to stay behind to watch volleyball. There was a tournament. And from the time we made the plan to the time I actually got there, my kids had invited other kids to come to our house. So we didn't end up, volleyball was not happening. But we got back home and I had 3 extra teenagers. I mean, my son is 12, his friends are 12, but they can eat like a teen. And my daughter and her friend, they are 14.
He's a tall 12.
He's a tall 12. He's taller than Charlie. He's almost as tall as me. He's gonna be a big man someday.
Yep.
And so they can eat. And they walked in the door and they were starving. And I had left it on the crock pot, and so it was all ready to go. And we literally walked in. I gave them each a bowl and they scooped it up. I had some, and so I fed 6 people. I had included the cheese. So what was it? $8.75. I fed 6 people. Now I could have whipped up a salad, but I didn't want to waste it on the teenagers. My daughter would have eaten it.
Fair enough.
And maybe one of the other kids, but and I would have. But yeah, definitely it was a full meal. They were satisfied, and it was perfect. It was delicious. So freezer meals can save the day.
This Paneer Curry is so flavorful, and actually,
so flavorful.
Christy's got a story about it for after I tell you the recipe.
Do the recipe, and I will tell you, because we just had ours, and oh my goodness, it's a good story.
It's so good. So for this Paneer Curry, it's going to cost you, if you don't know, paneer is like an East Indian type of cheese. It's made, you said it's made with whey.
It's made with whey. It's probably closer to tofu, except it's not it's made with whey. It's made with milk products.
Yeah.
But it's hard like that, hard like tofu. I mean, you can get different
and it kind of
kinds of tofu too, but It takes on the flavor of what you're making. We fry it ahead of time. We chop it into cubes and then we fry it ahead of time so you can crisp it up. And that's really good. It's really good. And the flavors are great. But yeah, and you're starting to see it a little bit more in other places. Like I actually found it at Costco the last time I was there. And maybe I hadn't been looking for it, but I found paneer at Costco.
And so this paneer price is before we found it at Costco, so it might
be cheaper.
It's
at
Costco,
not always, but it might.
We're not sure because we haven't checked that out yet. But this paneer was just getting it at the regular grocery store, and so it's $7.34. But I've done the math, and there is a way to make this dish even less expensive. And that is if you substitute sour cream for the Greek yogurt that it calls for, then that brings this dish down to $7, which is amazing.
That's amazing.
And you can serve it with naan, which is a little bit pricier, or just with rice, which is quite inexpensive, especially if you buy it like in bulk quantities. And so really this full meal, because you've got your protein with the paneer.
Yep, and the vegetables right in there.
Inexpensive. So you're gonna fry up your cubes of paneer in some butter, and then you wanna pat them dry just so that it's not greasy in the bag, and put those in a large resealable bag. You're gonna add a can of diced tomatoes, some frozen peas, chopped onion, ginger, minced garlic, curry paste, cilantro, salt, pepper, and that Greek yogurt, or of course sour cream if you're doing this even more on budget. You're gonna take all the excess air out of that, seal it, freeze it, and on the day you go to serve this, you just need to reheat it in a skillet. Super, super easy.
So I recently went on an outdoor education field trip with my son. My husband and I went as chaperones, and we were at this Hunter's Education Center in the Rocky Mountains, which was a really nice little retreat. We slept in cabins, the kids slept in lean-tos.
Nice to be an adult in these situations.
And we had access to showers and stuff, but we still had to cook out there. They weren't feeding us. They had to cook on the fire. I could take my camp stove. So I took my camp stove, I made the paneer curry in my skillet, and then the other part of my camp stove has this griddle, and I could just heat up the naan, and I got it nice and toasty, and I had garlic naan, and it was really nice. And we had we ate it. I mean, I don't know what the serving is on this, probably it's 4 servings.
Yeah.
We ate it.
Like the two of you?
The two of us. But I did have some left over because there was another mom. There wasn't very many moms wanted to come on the camping trip out to the bush. But there was another mom there, and I'd been telling her about it, and she's like, oh, that sounds really good. So there was enough to give her a serving as well. And she raved about it, about how good it was, and she couldn't believe it was a freezer meal, and da-da-da. And then after, I was cleaning up, and I was putting stuff away back in my cooler, and there was the sour cream. And I totally forgot to even put the sour cream in, and that's how good it was. So you could even skip the sour cream, and it's going to be delicious.
I forgot to mention that you're supposed to add some sour cream in at the end when you're cooking it in the skillet. So now our story makes so much more sense.
And you can add more cilantro. I'm not a cilantro person, so I didn't even take any.
Nope.
That's okay. There's a little bit in there. It's enough. Keeping with our Indian food theme, listen, vegetarian meals are inexpensive. They're frugal. It's the protein that is generally the expensive part of the meal. And if you want to do a meatless Monday, or if you want to start thinking in that direction, either to save money or for health reasons or whatever reasons that you want to start going vegetarian, this is a really great flavorful way to do it. Indian food in general is flavorful, and in this case, it's rather frugal. So we start out with a couple of cans of chickpeas, rinsed and drained, chopped onion, garlic, ginger. We like the squeezy tube ginger because it's a little bit, it's easier than shredding our own ginger. It's just flavorful and we like it. And then we get to say squeezy tube. We're gonna add in Thai chilies and then our spices. We have cumin, turmeric, garam masala, a little bit of tomato paste, and our lemon juice and vegetable broth. You can add the vegetable broth in now, or if you wanted to save a little space and make your package a little bit thinner, you could add the 2 cups in on the day of cooking. We're gonna put this all in our freezer bag, squish it all together and seal it up, taking all the air out. And on the day of cooking, you put it in the slow cooker for 4 to 6 hours, and it is super easy and really delicious. If you're in a crunch, you can get away with doing this in the skillet, making sure everything is cooked through and all the flavors are blended. And then you can serve it again with a little bit of fresh cilantro on top with some basmati rice or naan. This one altogether was $7.43 for 4 servings.
Isn't that great?
That's great. That's unreal.
Okay, and I am going to beat that because I'm
Beat
going
it.
to give you one that is meat
Aha!
and less expensive.
I dare you.
But
you can't do that.
There's a caveat here, and that is that we were able to get beef strips 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we bought a lot of them, like a lot of packages. I think we bought 12 packs, right?
Yes.
And we got a video.
We
right
did a whole
there.
beef strips video. You can go to town on beef strips.
Absolutely. If you're able to find a sale, this is the way to do it. But I have calculated this one for both ways. If you had to pay full price for your beef strips, and if you were able to get the sale like we were, and those sales do come around once in a while. I've seen them on pork chops. I've seen them on chicken very rarely, but sometimes.
Yeah, who knew chicken was going to be the expensive protein? How did this
So
happen?
true.
Anyway.
It's just how things are
It's
right
just
now.
how things
But
are.
I was trying so hard to find a frugal chicken meal for you guys for this video. I calculated, like I was so sure. We have this one chicken noodle soup recipe and it only uses 2 chicken breasts. And it's such a comfort food, perfect
And what's more
winter meal.
simple than chicken noodle soup?
Totally. But it was way over the budget that I've set for these. So I'm sorry. I even tried drumsticks, chicken wings. I was desperate.
Yeah, sometimes you can find, if you buy something that has the bones in it with the skin on, it is going to be cheaper than boneless, skinless because there's not as much processing that's going to happen. And if you're okay with going that direction, you can find better deals than the boneless, skinless. But in this one, we didn't have any chicken today that could get under.
We could not make the numbers work. So, but this beef one, we did it. So, for this ginger beef recipe, if you were able to get your beef strips 2 for 1, which we did, so that made them average out to $3.50 a pack. Then this entire meal can be made for $5.08, which is $1.27 a serving.
That's kind of nuts.
Isn't that nuts?
That's kind of nuts.
I'm kind of thinking we should have bought more packs. We should have quadrupled, because we doubled the recipes so that I could have one and Chrissy could have one. But if we had quadrupled, we could have had 2 each. And really, taking advantage of sales is, especially when you do freezer cooking, and the meals keep for at least 3 months in the freezer. So it's such a good way to cut your grocery costs. But anyway, if you paid full price for your beef strips for this, it would be $8.58, which is still for a meat meal,
right?
Not bad. Mm-hmm. We're under $10 to feed a family of 4. So, that's still kind of impressive. But let's get to the ginger beef recipe. So we've got 2 pounds of our beef stir fry strips, half a cup of onion that's been thinly sliced, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of the squeezy tube ginger or minced ginger, 1 cup of beef broth, a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and that's it. You take the air out of the bag, squish it all around to combine the flavors, and then on the day that you serve this, you can heat it in the skillet. It cooks up so fast, and it's a thin bag, so it thaws fast too. or you can cook it in your slow cooker and then just serve it on rice and you have a complete meal.
Super easy and delicious. It's really good. It is a really good one. Last but not least, we can't do one of these without having some taco meat in there, because who doesn't love tacos?
Everyone loves
tacos. So we start out with our ground beef that we've browned, some finely chopped onion, your taco seasoning, tomato sauce, chili sauce, and a cup of shredded cheese. And just cheddar is fine. And then you put all of those things in the bag, and then on the day of cooking, you can just cook it up in the skillet. You can do it in the slow cooker too, just to have it sitting out while you get everything else ready. You know, you come in from skating or sledding or something like that. We're Canadians, so we got to put in the winter sports there. And or you've been at the school playing volleyball, watching volleyball, and you have 6 extra kids. And so you come home and you have it in your slow cooker, or you can just do it up in the skillet, and that cheese melts right in there, and it is so good. You can just do your regular fixins, which kind of alters our costs here, because right now the taco meat, just the way it is $7.67. I mean,
and that's for 6 servings.
That's for 6 servings, but you're gonna want it in a taco shell or on some rice or on nachos, and you're gonna want to put your veggies in.
True. And
unless you're my son, and then you just sprinkle more cheese and call it a day.
I did consider this when I thought about including the taco meat in this budget freezer meals video, because you do have to add more and then it does up the cost. However, you can still do some very frugal things with taco meat. One of the things I like to do with this particular taco meat is I cook some pasta up and I stir this taco meat right in. Sometimes I might sprinkle like some diced tomatoes or green onions on top, or some extra cheese, and then bake it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just do the taco meat. My kids love this pasta, and it couldn't be simpler. The other thing you can do that's very frugal is to top this on baked potatoes. And if you have potatoes from your garden, then obviously free, but
because gardening is totally free, right? Right, gardeners?
Okay, not free, but you have
if
them.
you use your last year's potatoes, the potatoes will eventually be free.
Yes.
But gardening can be inexpensive. Any hobby can be expensive if you let it.
And gardening's no exception.
Yeah, it can get there.
But if you're able to get potatoes on sale, and potatoes can be quite inexpensive. So if you're able to get potatoes on sale, then you can top your baked potatoes with the taco meat, and then you've got your protein, your carbs, everything right there. And so this can actually be a super frugal meal. If you make this into real tacos, tacos in a bag, or taco salad, then it does increase the price considerably, because you're adding your lettuce, your tomatoes, your onions, like your
taco
green
shells,
onions. Yeah. So that, or avocado makes it really pricey.
Sure, and sour cream, stuff like that.
Salsa, all the things. But for a base recipe, this taco meat makes it so that you can use it to top it on top of the baked potatoes or the pasta or nachos. And
it's versatile.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
Great to have on hand. So we also have 2 or 3 recipes in our Make Ahead Ethiopian Feast. I'm gonna put a link right up there. Those are the ones that I'm specifically thinking of are the Yakik Alicha and the Yemisir Wat, and those are lentil-based dishes. I think they're both lentil-based.
One is a split yellow pea.
Okay, split yellow pea and lentil. And those are incredibly frugal. Like we're talking a couple dollars to make the whole thing. I didn't want to include them in this video because they're a lot more work than your typical freezer meal, and it doesn't have any kind of protein or anything like that with it, so it's more...
The lentils are some protein, but still, the split pea, not as much.
Yeah,
it's they're more sides or
not
a
group
complete
meal.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be accurate when I'm saying like these are meals. Like, we're giving you things you can actually feed your family. But if you are looking for ways to cut down on costs, I do want to encourage you to check those out, and also check out our vegetarian freezer meal videos. We have lots.
We do have lots.
We have another one coming out soon.
Oh,
with
yeah.
some all new vegetarian meals. But another great way to stretch your dollars is to take whatever it is that you've made for supper and turn it into a soup. So you turn your leftovers into a soup. I can take half a chicken breast
and turn it into soup.
And turn it into soup. Or one chicken breast and turn it into soup. We've got 7 kids. We have a large family, and I can stretch out this half a chicken breast to be an entire other meal. So I tailor the flavors depending on what was left over and depending on the seasonings that were in with the chicken.
Right.
So an example, I'll give you a bunch of examples actually, because it really is such a good way to, like, it's no extra money. It's just food you have left over.
Right.
It might cost you $1 or $2 extra because I usually add an onion, some garlic, and carrots into almost all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to use water or chicken broth. Sometimes I add a can of diced tomatoes or a can of condensed tomato soup.
Right.
So sometimes you're always adding a little bit more money, but again, a few dollars can turn this into an entire meal. So if you have, let's say, chicken curry, that lady's chicken, those kinds of sauces, you're gonna cut up your chicken. You're gonna
even the lemon mustard,
scoop all your sauce, like every little bit.
The first time she told me this, I'm like, really? The chicken curry? You're making it into soup? Because it's sweet.
It's so good.
It is. It's really interesting and it's really good. Yeah.
So you scoop all your sauce because you don't want anything to go to waste.
No.
I'm a big fan of nothing going to waste.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like to use it all. And so you take that, and then for that kind of soup, that's one where I might add a can of the tomato. And then I'm going to add in, like, let's say we had frozen peas that we had heated up to go with the meal. Well, those I just dump right in. And then carrots and onion and garlic. And let's say we had rice and there's a little, like, handful of rice left, like not enough for a person.
Right. But you add it in there.
And it bulks up the soup. So let's say you had a lemon pepper chicken and you had some rosemary potatoes that you'd made. So you'd roasted baby potatoes, put some rosemary on them. That was your side dish with your lemon pepper chicken. Then you could, again, you've got one chicken breast, half a chicken breast, whatever left. You cube that up really small, because you want to stretch it.
You have to spread it out.
You got to make sure everybody gets a little bite of chicken, right? And then you're going to add in your rosemary potatoes, but you've already got kind of that lemon and the rosemary. So you could either go with a soup that's more Greek inspired or Italian. So then you can add some Italian seasoning or some basil and oregano, and you're gonna add a can of diced tomatoes, maybe.
I would do it different.
If you do Italian,
I would do a cream soup.
Oh, because of the rosemary.
With the rosemary and the lemon?
Yes.
I would do a cream soup in a heartbeat. I would do a butter and a flour roux and mix in some milk or some more chicken stock and make a gravy and gently mix that into the soup. And then maybe add a can of condensed milk or a cup of cream or something. Then it's getting a little expensive. But again,
that sounds delicious. And some carrots.
And delicious. A little bit of carrots, a little bit of leftover peppers or something.
That sounds delicious.
Dill.
That sounds so good. So if you've got something like your curry chicken or the chicken that I can't remember the name of, we've got some, whatever. We have a lot of chicken recipes. So those ones, I add some curry paste or some curry powder, and then I cook up some basmati rice if I don't have rice left over, and bulk that up. And that one, I would go more with peas than carrots because I'm wanting kind of more of those
It's going to go better with the Indian flavors.
But then if you've got some corn left over, then you kind of create, like you put a can of black beans in there. You create like a fajita kind of Southwest inspired soup, right? Put some taco seasoning.
Yeah.
And in that one, again, no carrots. You're going to have like a can of diced chilies maybe.
Oh, yeah.
You just go shopping in your pantry. Like you can save so much money shopping in your pantry and shopping in your freezer. So anyway, I've gone off on a tangent about the soups, but it's to help you because you can save so much money this way.
You can, and you're not wasting, and it's not really that hard. Just a little imagination, and you try it a few times, and you really can stretch it.
And it's amazing. Like you might think you've got 2 meatballs, let's say, left over from a family dinner. Well, normally you're just going to scoop those 2 meatballs into the garbage, right? But once you get into this mindset, then you take those 2 meatballs and you make like a single serving soup and you take it for lunch with you the next day. And, you know, you put in, like we've got an Italian wedding soup recipe that's just carrots and spinach and onions.
A little bit of orzo.
Yeah.
Put in some tiny alphabet pasta. How cute.
And you've got lunch.
It's a single serving lunch. It's wonderful. And you could cube your meatballs into something little, so you have a little...
Then you could make it for 4 people.
Easy. Remember how I told you soup doesn't always fill me up?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. She's you know, she's got to have like the bun.
The carb. I gotta have a bun or
a biscuit.
Yeah, cheese toast. Something like that.
That's true.
That's okay.
But okay, hopefully we have given you a lot of suggestions that will help you to save tons of money on your next grocery shop.
If you have suggestions, please tell us, because there's a million frugal people out there that are watching us because we're frugal. We want to know what you're doing. We want to know what deals you get at the grocery store. We want to know how you coupon. We don't have couponing here quite like we do in the States. You do in the States. But we'd love to hear about it because we are excited for people that can save money.
And we want to, like, we're all in this together, right? We want to help you and you can help us, and like it's all so good. So, and I think I know this makes me sound like a commercial, but truly one of the best ways that you can save money is to join our Freezer Meals 101 Club, because it's just an annual fee, and it's pretty small annual fee for what you get.
And it's so easy, and you save so much money doing freezer meals that you will make that back in no time. In your first month. Not just money, not to mention the time you'll save and the mental energy that you'll save for just being able to go to your freezer. And so do check that out and see if it's a good fit for you. We'd love to have you. Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope that you have really found some great frugal ideas from us, and we'd love for you to subscribe and hit like and check out our links down below. We're going to put a video right there to that last frugal freezer meals video, and that way you can combine this one and that one and have, I don't remember how many recipes we had in it, but at least 5. At least. More than 10, or at least 10 recipes. Frugal mania. It is frugal mania. Frugal mania. Happy cooking. Bye. Or should I say happy money saving? I don't know. Yeah, you could. Today you can.